The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we're trading off 7 points lower on the S&P, but we were a lot lower earlier in the day. My guess is that we will go positive before the close today. Dow's off 26, NASDAQ's off 13, and Russell's off 5. I was out actively in the newsletter and personally buying this morning. There were a few things that actually looked rather enjoyable for me. One, market reacting to a lot of phony news, or at least that's what I thought. And as I said last few days, that the market was more bearish than it was bullish back at the end of January. You're going to get some fairly big swings on that. But I saw a lot of washouts this morning early on. And the one that really got me going and started buying, bought in both newsletters this morning, and personally was putting on some day trades for the day, which I'll close out at the end of the day. But you know, some pretty nice setups out here. We'll talk about a few of them, but there were a few that just didn't pass the smell test the way that they were acting. And I was looking mostly at some of the ones that had been the worst sellers, been sold the worst. And those had been in my sector oscillators showing that these things were going to bottom somewhere around Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe as far back or as far as tomorrow, but they were going to bottom. And I think I actually said that Boeing had bottomed, I don't know, somewhere in the 1030 range or 11. I can't remember right now, but it certainly looked to me like it had made a tradable bottom. So a lot of these stocks that had been beaten on, what's the moral of the story today? Well, it's the 3rd of May. And what is that? It's generally the last day of fund buying. Man, you got to really be nervous out there if you haven't seen that cash come in like it can on fund buying. We had about a third of it come in. That is my estimate earlier in the week. And then that was it. Nobody wanted to buy anything. As soon as the prices got right, the buttons started and the mouse buttons started clicking today, and that was kind of it. But really like the way that the market acted at the lows. There was a huge amount of volume with a little price change at the absolute lows, which is a good indication that there was a lot of high-frequency trading driving those stock prices down, and very little buying. Everybody just kind of stood away until they started seeing the prices that you liked. And then those fun guys turned on the fire hose of money that they have. And, yeah, it's like a whole different day. Anyway, we're off less than 5 points on the S&P cash. And will we have some decent volume today? The answer is yes. We've had pretty light volume up and down. Is it going to be some kind of blowout day? Is it going to be anywhere close to the price or the volume days of February 5th through the 9th? And the answer is no. We're doing about 4.7 billion shares today, so we're going to probably end up with maybe 7.5 billion shares, so pretty close to what we did yesterday, which isn't huge in the context of these huge price moves down. I'm trying to think what else we've got going on. Well, let's do a little history. give me a call at 877-927-6648. But I'm going to be doing the happy dance. Not only did I buy the lows, I bought them in the newsletter, or in both newsletters, I think. And I even got the bottom tick in one. And I haven't done that for a while, buying an index. But it's more luck than anything. I mean, it could have been 3 cents higher, 3 cents lower. But one of those days when you get the absolute bottom tick, it's like the sun came out in the springtime. The flowers have bloomed. It's just a beautiful day. And there's no negative waves.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating. And on this day in 1948, the government case accused the studios of many of Hollywood of violating the Sherman Antitrust Act and the total control over movie distribution and exposition. And why is this important? Well, because the biggest offender of this same provision of the Antitrust Act is Amazon. They deliver the product. In some cases, they have it made. They have their own private brand. They can crush competitors. Anyway, at this time, the 7 studios controlled almost all the country's movie theater, and through ownership of their own theater chains or through a process known as block booking, which independent theaters owners signed contracts with the studio that required them to show a given number or block of films so no one else could get in. In their antitrust case, the government was demanding that studios end block booking and get rid of either the distribution arms of the theaters. They ended up having to get rid of both, and it's just kind of interesting. But when a lot of people think about antitrust acts, they don't think about Hollywood that much, but it did change it. Independent theaters, and of course the rise of Harvey Weinstein as an independent studio. But you take the good with the bad, I guess. On this day in 1948, what I think is kind of a template for what one day will be the charge against Amazon, and that is a vertical company. And there's been a lot of these companies in the past that have used that vertical provision of the Sherman Antitrust Act to go after various companies in monopoly positions. Okay. So let's start going and looking at some charts for today. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648 if you'd like to have me look at your particular stock or just ask a very wide and open question. Do so today, 877-927-6648. If you're west of the Rockies, 877-927-6648 if you're east of the Rockies. Both sides. Okay, let's do this. In fact, do I have this one up? Okay, I do. There's the sector. Oh, we're running out of time. We'll be back. I want to look at the sector indicator and show you what I was looking at. So we'll lead off with that when we come back. And I'm waiting with bated breath for your phone call. Yes, I will put a worm on my tongue until we come back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Now, first, I was looking for a low in the ITA, which is the Dow Jones Aerospace and Defense Index. It had come down fairly sharply. That energy wasn't any more than the way it went up back on February 9th to February 27th. It did basically the same thing it did up, down, just on April 24th, decided to head lower. So you've got this big move. Now, of course, you had about 923,000 shares on February 6th. We got into that on May 1st with 500,000 shares. Yesterday with just 427,000 shares. Today we got about that same. But we basically tested this candle a couple of days with about half the volume. Now, that was one thing. The next thing was my sector oscillator, which told us that we were in massively oversold conditions, at least in the short term. It hit the theoretical limit yesterday, or 2 days ago, actually. And that's where I'm saying that normally when these things hit the max at lows, they're going to get a reaction, and they're going to get a reaction within about 2 or 3 days. On the high end, you get a lot of retests. Markets can stay at highs a lot longer than you would ever think. But at lows, these things are pretty deadly. And once we hit that theoretical all-time low on the 1st, it was just one of these things where I knew we had a couple of days. Now I'm seeing like the ITA on volume do pretty well, and then get into the volume. I mean, the volume looked fairly good. And then actually start looking at the options in some stocks like Boeing, where everybody was just, it was the end of the world. And really, if you look at this chart, and I took the prices off of it and changed them to $3 or $2, no one would ever say anything. Now, you had a little bit more energy on the way down in Boeing, but what I was looking for was this gap. We got down to 319.13 today, and what was the volume before? It was about 5 million shares before. It's 4.5 today, but you also had an 8 million share day, which we're basically halfway in, where this thing also reversed, and that's on the 4th of April. But when I was looking at down around 320 or so, it certainly looked like there was a huge amount of volumes and no price moves. And that's normally when they're just hammering and hammering away. And for either there's somebody buying on the other side, or it's just the machines going nutty, trying to make everything, it's kind of like an auction where they just keep going on, make you think something's happening. They don't want to give you a second to think. Anyway, that kind of auction process, saw some of that. Started looking at some of the other sectors out here. SMH is pretty much the same thing, although the SMH is, let's get this one up here. I think they bottomed 4 days ago. Where's my SMH? There it is. Okay. The SMHs, I was pretty much looking for a low in those. Those actually, at least for the 9-day composite in the SMH by sector oscillator, actually bottomed back on the 20th. And I bought calls on what I thought was the most hated, most overshorted stock that there was. Anyway, we got a nice move the day before yesterday, a little pullback yesterday, and now my guess is that we're probably going to get back up to these highs and probably close to theoretical highs, I suspect, today by the close. So you're probably going to get 4, 5, 6 days, my guess, of these hanging at the highs with a lot of people on the wrong side of the market. Okay. And what else do we have? That's a few of them. Let's look at some other stocks that are moving today. Okay. Well, we're off 8 points on the S&P cash. What am I doing here? Okay. Get back to that. Had a lot of earnings. So we'll look. Let me check on a couple. Okay. Got a question to look at Apple. I don't think anything's really changed in Apple since yesterday. It was kind of interesting to see with all the pressure in the markets, this didn't react much at all today. Actually, volume's a little less. You're just up against this gap down that had 34 million shares back on the 19th of April. You had 66 million shares into it yesterday, got 24 in it. That's probably fairly decent resistance, although I do think this thing's going up to this 183.50 high, probably through options expiration now. My guess is that they probably rejiggered this to get that taken care of. See if any other questions out here. Wanted to look at this one. Okay, so there were, is that it? Or that was another one. Another one that I saw early on this morning, pretty much opened at the low and hasn't done anything other than go higher. This is Cirrus Logic. And kind of interesting to watch this one not be able to be hammered down and actually go up mostly through the day. I think this is about 50 cents shy of the high. But pretty good earnings, pretty good action after the hours. They opened it lower. And I think it was down maybe 2% last night. But earnings were great. There wasn't a lot to complain about. And unless we got hit by a meteor, it was going to be kind of tough to keep this thing down. That was one of the first ones in the SMHs that really started to show that there were probably a lot of buyers hanging out just a bit lower. Let's see out here. Got a question about the IBB. This one hasn't turned quite yet. But it is close. I certainly like the volumes out here. I would have liked this thing to bounce a little bit, and it has not done that much. But as a chart, pretty good looking. Previous low was 2.8 million shares at $100.22. We got to $100.44 with 1.7 million shares. Now, the problem is you still have, what, hour and a half left to go. So, you know, could you get 2.8 million shares? You could. I just think that there are a lot of stocks that came down on this last leg from the mid-April highs that actually came back on lighter volume. And those are the ones that I think are probably more interesting to me right now. This thing had a buy signal at 105. It closed under 105, took that buy signal away. We're back down to 144 cents. But that's about it. Anyway, it's very quiet. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Are you an options trader that's looking for that extra edge when placing trades? David White will be hosting a webinar on May 16th, which is the Wednesday leading up to options expiration Friday in May, where he'll discuss in depth the methodology he uses for trading options near expiration, including swing trading setups and expiration day trading scenarios. Subscribers to each of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and the Technology Insider, gain access to this 60-minute webinar, which will be archived if you cannot attend live. Dave has had some great option trades recently for his subscribers. See for yourself the trading methodology he uses when trading options by signing up today for either of his newsletters, and we'll see you Wednesday, May 16th at 5 p.m. for option trading near expiration, analyzing swing trades and expiration day scenarios. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And I have a question, where do I think we close out here today? I think a little bit above 2640 on the S&P cash. Dow probably close up maybe a couple of ticks over 2400. The NASDAQ looks to me like it could close up maybe 15, 18 points. I think it's done a lot of its work already. It's off 13 points now. But I think we're probably just going to see a slow slide. Probably by 3 o'clock, these things are going to be flat. And then we're probably going to just have a little bit of short covering into the close today. We still have some more fun money that I think will come in before the end of the day, although I do think 80% of it, maybe 85% of it's in. So we'll keep an eye on that. But give me a call. It's going to be a little quiet here, I think, for the next 30 minutes while everybody figures out what's going on. But we'll look at some more charts out here. Question to look at Amazon. I haven't done so in a while. Anything exciting happening out here? Again, this thing is going to be very much like Microsoft, in my opinion, and that is just one day you're going to get that headline that says, you know, Justice Department is doing something about antitrust, and then you're going to see the big move in it. But till you get that, and who knows when that's going to be, this thing is probably going to just continue ratcheting a little higher. You went higher on higher volume on April 27th. So the one, what is that, $1,638 high is most likely going to get tested. And my guess is that that's going to get tested by the 18th, by expiration this month. And you came down on fairly light volume. You've actually just been going sideways today. Yeah, 3.2 million shares so far, 3.3. So not a whole lot. That's going against this high of April 19th that had 6.5 million shares. So this $1,560 level, kind of right in it right now is kind of that 1550. That's kind of the support level on this, and my guess is that we're just going to kind of meander up, and old Otis, the town drunk, is going to come back. But he's going to kind of weave one way and weave another, and that's going to be it. We'll be a little bit higher by the end of the day. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, I wanted to thank Bob of Orlando for sending me a Blu-ray copy of Kelly's Heroes, and saying he appreciates the lack of negative waves on this show.
Don't you knock it off with them negative waves? Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change? Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
I had a lot of fun watching it last night, yet again. So everybody be hit. Anyway, what else do we have happening? I think we're just about positive on the day now. On the S&P 500, off half a point. The NASDAQ's flat on the day. I don't think there's that much to go higher. The reason why is I have a feeling that a lot of people are still extremely bearish. And normally we just get this feedback loop of people, as soon as it gets back to where they can short it again, go right back to shorting. And that's probably the feedback loop that gets us back up to that 2,700 level, probably in the last week or so. Again, I'm not looking for any kind of skyrockets to 2850 or anything like that. I just think that we need to go back up into that 2,700 area one last time, and if volume falls out there, then I think the move to lower prices will ensue, and that will probably happen after the 3-day weekend for Memorial Day, the 28th. Okay, so what else do we have? Just as soon as I say everybody would probably be reshorting here, people are reshorting here. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this. Had somebody asked me about CCJ. It actually did have a nice spike, but not the volume that it needed to go against this December 4th, 2017 high. That was $11.18 with 10.8 million shares. On the second, we got 6 million shares. Today, a little pullback on 2.2 million shares. Good business and a good trade off this low of $8.34. Very interesting what these guys do. Someone brought it up in the den. I can't remember who now. But I've got a link for, if you ever watched it on Sci-Fi Channel, how they made it or how they make it. And it just happens to be, generally they don't say much about the company. And occasionally you'll see like a sticker or something in the background. So you see how it's at. But if you want that link for CCJ, just email me at path. I got a question in here on the email. who he says he feels a little bit like oddball. It's Hector. What do you think about Mylan? Well, this is it, man. You got the test, and you got it with lighter volume, and you're right at support. Energy off this 44.18 high, back down to the low today, pretty good. You don't really have a follow-up candle yet that says buy, but you know what? My guess is that you're going to get an opportunity to buy this thing at about 35 bucks, maybe even 34.50, maybe tomorrow. This thing is coming back, though. Very nice, 17.6 million shares. This is exactly where you would. This is exactly where you'd want to be in this thing. You got huge energy on the way up to 47.82. The pullback happened to be on a little bit more volume than you would like. Bounced back up to that March 6th high, but this March 6th high has had fairly a decent consolidation, or not consolidation, but pullback on lighter volume. You had a little bit of volume yesterday, 8.5 million shares, but you're still looking and keying off this October 31st 17.6 million share move, or, and that's the conservative one, or the 36.9 million share day from October 4th of 2017. So both of those show very light volume back into this Mylan. He doesn't say whether or not he's in it already, but this is exactly where you would want to be thinking about buying it, although I have a feeling that you're going to get a slightly better price tomorrow. What else did we have? It could be. Okay, go back here and look at some of these other ones that we'll get to. Anyway, that was just interesting on that. So what else do we have out here that I want to talk about? I've got a ton of stuff. One of the bigger stocks out here that ran early in the morning and then sold off, hasn't gotten back up to its previous highs, but I think a lot of stocks are like that, is Tableau Software. We were talking about this one the other day. I thought, well, man, this one certainly looked like, you know, a taste of $90. It's like bears. You get a taste of human flesh. You got to just put them down. Well, this stock got a taste of 90. So I'm going to say that probably more than anything, this one's going to go to 100. We'll look at Microsoft and its battle to eventually get to 100 when we get back.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks! Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. What else do we have going on here? Okay. Just checking my emails, make sure anybody's got what's going on. Okay, let's go to Microsoft. I mean, this thing's been battling the $90 range for a while. My guess is that this will hit $100 by May 18th. Certainly the options and the options change today do suggest that that's what's going to happen in Microsoft. So we're probably looking at the strong stocks in the big fangs as Apple and Microsoft. Trying to think of anything else. Facebook kind of looked worn out to me. You got monstrous resistance and no volume today. So this one's probably going to be the weaker sister in the FANG stocks. Let's take a quick look at NFLX. See what this one's going to do. This one, you know, you still have, at least as the way I'm looking at it, is you've got two big gaps in Netflix. And Netflix is probably looking for one more gap higher. When is their next earnings date? NFLX. July 16th. Now, that's a little bit into May. But, man, I certainly wouldn't be short this until you get some kind of decent signal, because my guess is that this one is exactly this kind of three-gap play setting up. And your first gap's at 240, your second one's at 300. So, I mean, these things are all 20, 25 buck gaps. Yeah, 20, 25 bucks, something like that. When you get one, you get two, you're going to probably, there's about an 80% chance you get a third. And that would be the one that you would think about selling, or maybe looking for a top, even if it doesn't top that day, maybe pulls back, goes up and retests it. But for this setup right here, and there's a couple of stocks out here like this that look like they could get one more gap. And even the market does roll over, maybe a handful of these stocks will continue to hold up. Well, July 16th, that's a long ways away. Maybe there's something else coming out that get a gap up. But I certainly wouldn't want to be short this thing. And if I was long and had pretty good, decent money in this thing, I'd probably want to hang on. Although you did test the previous high on lighter volume, March 12th, 333.98 with 20 million shares, got into it with 11 million shares, and it's pulled back a little bit. This pullback so far has not been a high volume day, and you've actually gone sideways for 5 days on lighter volume. So I think you're going to get one more test of this top. And if it again is light volume, then maybe you've made a high in Netflix. But Again, we're going into options expiration 80% of that time between Wednesday, next Wednesday, and the 18th of May. 80% of those times, it's going to be higher than the quote on Wednesday, or the low of actually the high of Wednesday. 80% of the time, by that options expiration, it's going to be higher. Now, it's not that much higher. It's 1.5%. But my guess is that a lot of the action over the last few days has gotten everybody incredibly bearish, and they probably are still carrying some of those positions, and probably will. It's not an easy thing as a trader to flip from long to short, or if you're long, to actually buy when you get horrible pullbacks today, or if you're short, to be able to short pops in the market. The whole hardest thing is either to wait and actually act when you said you were going to act, or actually flip when you're going to say you're going to flip. Anyway, S&P 500 -4, Dow's actually up 46. That's a wide swing. NASDAQ is off 2, Russell's off 5.5. So that. Okay, got a question in the den, and that is Buffett and Gates in Omaha on Saturday for a Berkshire annual confab. Lots of talking as you see it. Will their chatter turn players into S&P buyers? You know what? I don't think I can remember a time when they did that it affected anything other than the stocks that he was in. I don't think it ever affected the indexes. I think he always says, you know, he bought a lot more of this stock or that stock. He never really says, I bought the indexes. So if he's in a stock and he added to it or he sold it, I remember that when he said that he sold a big hunk of his IBM on one of those deals. Was that over a year ago now? I think that would be it. So, what else do we have? I think that's about it. Does that answer the question? I hope it does. John from Philadelphia. Okay. Question, what's going on right now in the markets, from Philip, who's in Miami area. This is when everybody's trying to figure out who's going to blink first. You've got the end of the day. Everybody's fairly bearish. We've had a fairly decent reversal. Can we get the end of that fund buying to push us back into positive territory on the day, both on the NASDAQ and on the S&P and the Dow? We're kind of flat. So if you're bearish, then there's still a little glimmer of hope out there for the end of the day. My guess, though, is that we do go above or get to 2640, excuse me, on the S&P cash. The Dow gets over 2400 by the end of the day, and the NASDAQ, up 20 maybe. Russell, maybe a couple of points. That seems to not be moving very well, at least for the last few hours from me. Question coming in about Spotify, SPOT. And of course, there hasn't been a sector that has been this bad for losing money than streaming music. Is another one? Apple paid $3 billion for Beats Music. That's a total waste, just shredding and torching money, isn't it? What else? You got Pandora. Its IPO never did much. You got a handful of these other ones. I just don't understand the whole idea that these guys are going to be able to turn everything around. It seems to me a lot more like the airline business that went bankrupt for 40 years until they figured out how to start making money. As long as these guys are around, it's problematic. And as far as I'm concerned, I got Amazon Prime. I can get their music if I want to. I can use Spotify. But I've got a lot of music myself, so it doesn't really matter that much. But, yeah, you got to look at some of these companies out here and go, I just don't understand it. I don't understand how you're supposed to make money. You have to give most of the money you have away. The people you give the money to don't think you're giving them enough. And the people that are consuming it expect it for free. Sounds like a horrible business plan to me. We'll be back.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Are you an options trader that's looking for that extra edge when placing trades? David White will be hosting a webinar on May 16th, which is the Wednesday leading up to options expiration Friday in May, where he'll discuss in depth the methodology he uses for trading options near expiration, including swing trading setups and expiration day trading scenarios. Subscribers to each of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and the Technology Insider, gain access to this 60-minute webinar, which will be archived if you cannot attend live. Dave has had some great option trades recently for his subscribers. See for yourself the trading methodology he uses when trading options by signing up today for either of his newsletters, and we'll see you Wednesday, May 16th at 5 p.m. for option trading near expiration, analyzing swing trades and expiration day scenarios. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. Okay, so what else do we have? Okay, we're off 5 points on the S&P cash, and of course it's kind of it's going to be a real stare down the last few minutes of the day. Off 8 on the NASDAQ, Dow's up 10. Russell, a little better. Got a little action there, now just down 3. And of course, as we look at a lot of these big stocks that move, it certainly is the ones that were massively oversold. Boeing is one that really did change the complexion out here. And is it going back up to the highs? Maybe not. But I think for the most part, the henny penny, the sky is falling stuff is probably over through options expiration. We're going to move, at least my call is we're going to slowly move back up to that 2,700 area. And that's going to take a few days, and it's going to be slow and plodding and very Otis-like. He's going to kind of stumble around on the way back up. And that last week before Memorial Day, when the volume goes light, that's probably where the big break in the market comes. At least that's my scenario so far. Catch my webinar on the 16th. All you have to do is be a subscriber to either one of my newsletters, and we'll talk about that. I've got a nice trade on the books right now. We'll talk about how that sets up and how I put that all together. Plus, we'll look at maybe, if conditions are right and the planets align, that we get a lot of great last-minute trades where you can put in 10, 15, 20 cents a quarter on options in the last few days where the premiums are gone. And we'll talk about how we set those up. We've done it a few times before, but options are really back in vogue these days. And we'll talk about how you get good prices on them. And that is the important part, because you're going to be wrong a lot. You're going to make a massive amount when you're right. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.